Play the intro.
Okay, fine.
It's that time.
Do it.
Podcast raised from above.
Providing tactical advice in Overwatch.
And commenting on games we play online.
Mostly Overwatch. I'm going to eat some real cold steel.
And yeah, sometimes it'd be random like that.
How dare you look mimic and ult! I've been waiting all this time to say hammer down! Oh darn it, I was supposed to do something else!
That's right, big guy. Get those feelings out.
Jared, respect your elders. Jared ain't gonna defend himself. It's high noon.
Hold on now, Mr. Giblets. Let's think about that.
No, wait a minute, Mr. Giblets. Wait! Baby, bye. You can check us out on YouTube and subscribe. Let the like button consume you.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Overmuch Podcast. I am Mr. Giblets. Joining me and hosting the stream on his channel, Mr. Elijah, and our support main, Jared.
Mm-hmm. What up?
Best Lucio east of the Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, kids.
So
remember the name.
Here we are. I am Mr. Giblets, and this is Overmuch Podcast. And so just to start off and tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do, I typically play DPS characters and Diva. The list of characters I do play is long, but I mainly like Diva for the most part, and so I'll let you guys take it.
All right. So, let's see. So, I am Elijah, and I play Reinhardt, and I had a lot of things to say, but now that it's a hot mic.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Is mom watching?
Is mom watching? Yep.
Don't choke. Get
Don't
on
choke.
the payload.
And I've been playing video games for a long time. I've been playing, I don't know, when I was 12, I got caught in church playing Pokemon, so been playing for a long time.
That's a straight ticket to hell. Straight up.
I listen. But we are now playing all the time, most nights that we can play. School is probably going to screw that up for me and Jared, and Giblets gets about 3 hours in. But because we have lives. But Jared, why don't you talk about yourself?
Well, hi stream, how's it going? My name's Jared. I'm currently a college student right now. Play lots of Overwatch. My main role that I do is support, and my main support is Lucio. 99.9% of the time I play Lucio. Not much else to say from that. Just how about
He's a darn good Lucio. Let's get to the topics.
I'm the scariest frog you'll ever meet, son. So
yeah.
So now that we've introduced ourselves, and we'll awkwardly introduce ourselves every time, so don't worry if you get lost. Let's just launch into it. We have a myriad of topics. What we're going to do, we're going to go through each topic, all Overwatch related, and one of us will lead in to each topic, and then what we're going to do is we'll bounce off each other our thoughts after one of us leads in. So first one is up for me. A new patch dropped, for those of you that don't know. We had a new patch just drop a couple days ago, and a lot of new changes. So let's get one of them out of the way. The first change that, at least to me, is sort of a big deal is the introduction of the phrase filter in chat called GG Easy. For those who don't know, it's probably the most irrelevant addition to the new patch. There's a new filter in the text chat that replaces the phrase GG Easy with harmless, sometimes self-humiliating phrases.
It's great to hear in the real world, because you get people saying they're sucking their thumbs and all this other stuff. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I get the impression that Jared doesn't like that. right?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
And it's not for the reason that people think. Like, I'm not that guy that just goes like GG easy in chat. I'm not that type of man who needs to prove himself to other small children that he's better than them at Overwatch. I just think it's a cop out. Honestly, to me, it's like people are like, oh, people are getting harassed in Overwatch. Their feelings are being hurt, and Blizzard's like, I have a solution. This is what we're gonna do. We're going to filter out the least used hurtful thing to say in Overwatch. GG easy. Yeah.
Look, I don't think you guys played much CS:GO, right?
No.
All Blizzard's trying to do is they're trying to keep the poison out of the community, because there is no community online that is more poisonous than CS:GO. And this, I used to play Xbox Live. I used to play games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox Live, and those kids were toxic. But CS:GO is the most toxic thing ever, and I don't want to see the Overwatch community go that way, which I don't think that it will. I think that the people that play Overwatch typically are not quite as butthurt or basement dwelling, I guess, as some of the CS:GO players.
A lot of Russian CS:GO players. I mean, maybe
there's a lot of American CS:GO players that just have they have issues. They have serious, deep psychological issues that need to be handled. And I mean, GG easy. If you got a thin skin, that GG easy, especially after just getting smashed. Like, say for example, you got just wrecked on Gibraltar, payload all the way through 4 points in like 2 minutes or something crazy. And you were just team kill white the whole time, and then this friggin' Genji main types GG easy.
And you're right. I have felt this very, very, very much all the time. I'm like, why is this happening to me? Why am I suddenly typing terrible things? And it just overcomes me.
It's like the ring in Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. The one guy will type GG easy in the friggin' chat, and then you're like,
that wasn't easy. There was nothing easy about that.
Something, equally deprecating.
And they weren't
about
using it. Yeah, and they weren't using it right. They were saying GG easy when we held it for like 8 minutes, or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I can entirely appreciate like the reason they're doing it, but like Giblets said, like we're not to that basement dwelling point of like just like pure hatred in the entire community. So I just think it's a bit preemptive. It's like a bit like, is this really necessary right now? But I can definitely understand that. Like, I mean, GG easy hurts the most when it's true.
Oh yeah.
So I can definitely. I know why they took it out. It's just, I just think that the reason
censorship.
That they did. Well, yeah. If someone wants to talk smack,
yeah,
they'll find another way to do it.
It is censorship. You're right, and I mean. But still,
it's not a big deal. I mean, again, like I said when I led into this is probably the least relevant thing in the patch.
So we talking about the patch. What else dropped, Mr. Jared?
Eichenwalde dropped.
Ooh, it's Eichenwalde.
And the map of many names depending on how white you are.
Yes. Eichenwalde, Ukenwalde. I don't know. I've heard them all.
Eichenwalde.
And EICHENWALDE is the big one. That's one I hear a lot.
We wanted to save this topic for Elijah because he was really pumped to talk about this map.
Yep.
I loves this map.
I love this map. I was like, I'm a Reinhardt main, and Reinhardt doesn't play good on this. I love this map anyway.
Right.
I mean, Reinhardt is necessary on the defense, yes. The first choke under the bridge, I know you know about it. I know you all know about it if you played on Eichenwalde. If you haven't, go play it. And it's really hard to get past that choke. I mean, a lot of people talk about the verticality of the map. Eichenwalde has. That's what I love about it. You got those snipers just out in those towers further down, but that first point is very fun to hold. I personally feel it's fun to offend, like to attack, and
Right.
I've. What do you guys think about that?
I think that first choke point is the devil. Because this is the main reason why I don't like the first choke point, because it makes Symmetra, whatever, it makes her relevant. I really don't like
and
that.
we were all perfectly fine with her diminishing into
Being
obscurity. Yeah.
Look, if she puts 6 turrets on that archway, okay, and there's a Reinhardt there.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? I mean, you want to try to rush past Reinhardt and get behind him, right? So he'll drop his shield, turn around. As soon as you do, you get smashed with 6 friggin' turrets, and you can't move. And he's like, "Whoa!"
So you're pretty much defaulted to just ulting to get through there.
So you either have to fly over, completely over everything as a Pharaoh or a Diva, or jump over as a Genji, or you have to sprint run as Soldier into the little side right-hand door
Right, yeah.
and up the stairs, and hope and pray to God that you make it through there. I mean, you could teleport through it as Reaper, but everybody and their mama's going to know that you teleported through there because they're going to see it. You know, there's no way to like hide a teleport right there. I mean, I guess you could go from the one room on the left side into the room on the right-hand side, but as we all know, when you do that, Reaper's like, repositioning.
Yeah,
as
she's like,
loud
guys,
as
I'm over
possible.
here.
So
Guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
on defense, it's amazing. On attack, as somebody who normally plays people who have 200 health or less,
Yeah.
why?
Well, yeah,
Why did you do this?
This
the
is a
other
great-
day,
this-
I was.
this-
Yeah, go ahead, Jared.
This is a great lead-in into the entire thing. Like I mentioned this before, and anyone who plays Overwatch knows how weak the defense meta is right now. This map is just an answer to that weak defense meta. If you're a Junkrat main, for some messed up, you're already crazy if you're a Junkrat main. And you're probably not.
Birthday!
It's like it's just you are going to be a god on that. Again, the verticality between the first cap point and the second cap point is just a giant tower where you can spam. It's just exactly what Giblets said. Like if you play on defense on this map, you're going to have the best time of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it evens out after the first choke point. It's a very good map. I think the design is good. But one thing I want to mention, because Giblets was talking about the different characters that can get over the bridge, is that I as a Lucio can. There is a way that I can get over the bridge without going through the middle.
Yeah, but your whole team
again-
basically you have to desert your whole team, right?
Right, and that defeats the purpose of a Lucio.
Yeah.
So it's just I understand where they're coming from, and it's actually a really good answer to, rather than just buffing all the defense heroes.
Okay,
they just have a map that they're really good on.
Army Man Productions in chat brings up a good point. If you have a good tracer, you can deal with anything, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Right. Yeah, and Tracer and
For
Diva,
the first choke.
Because what's happening right now is a play that I see all the time, is that Diva flies over, contests the point, or Tracer, which is a good example, and then they get peeled off. But what's happening now is people are getting wise to that, and then 2 are just peeling off, taking care of the Tracer, and they'll be back before the other 5 of the queue figure out on the attacking side what the heck's going on.
Yeah, and then pretty much all you have to do, like, my opinion, I think the best way to solve that is just a May ult. Just drop a May ult, survive when you're dropping the May ult, and then you can go through, right?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
the execution is hard.
Would a May ult destroy Symmetra turrets?
Yeah, I
or
think so.
Symmetra
They only
turrets?
have to take 1 tick of damage.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah,
And since her field causes damage, they should be affected.
they should be. I haven't tested the real world.
I mean, let's be perfectly honest, guys. Symmetra's played so little that we should not be faulted for not knowing that, because I don't think anybody knows, but I'm sure someone does. But yeah, anybody else have any opinions on Eichenwalde right now?
Eichenwalde,
I think that map looks amazing, and there hasn't been a map in Overwatch yet that I didn't think looked really good. But dude, Eichenwalde looks amazing. They did so much work, tiny little details. I mean, it's just a really good looking map, and I mean, for the most part, I really like it. One thing though, in the defense, in the attack spawn point, there needs to be more stuff to wreck. There's not enough stuff to wreck. Okay, I need more things to destroy while I'm waiting to attack.
Giblets is a heavy proprietor of Hanamura's attack spawn room.
I have to have things to smash.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we all get on. General consensus is we do have some problems with it, but overall, it's a really great addition to the meta and to the game.
And look, guys, don't forget the chandelier in the final room. Yeah, don't forget that. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of Reapers dropping down from that chandelier, going die.
It does sort of bring, because up until this point, really, King's Row was the only reliable Reaper ult map. That in the last stretch of Route 66.
And it's all that verticality, isn't it? It's all that verticality.
It comes back to verticality. I would love to see a Reaper jump off that giant tower in Eichenwalde while ulting.
I think if there was a Bastion that was positioned well, like, if a Bastion knew how to position himself perfectly, like, at the highest level, I think a Bastion could survive on that map. Like, even at the highest level. And, and so, you know, what I see a lot in the Eichenwalde Brawl is Hanzo and Jared.
Yes. Yeah, so, moving on to the next topic. Hanzo's back with a vengeance. He actually got quite a few buffs this patch, and a lot of buffs that I don't agree with. Especially, and this is tied with the Genji nerf, which, if you don't already know, we're not going to talk about it that much because not a lot of us play Genji. But pretty much what Genji is, he got his ultimate nerfed and his mobility nerfed quite a bit, whereas his brother Hanzo got quite a few buffs. The buffs being now, instead of a 40% decrease in his movement speed while he's aiming, he only has a 30%, so that's a 10% buff in speed when he's aiming. His maximum projectile speed has been buffed by 30%, and his arrow size is smaller. It's like a third smaller than it used to be, which is sort of counteracts it. But considering the speed, it's almost hit scan at this point. It feels like hit scan.
When he pulls a full draw, is very close to being hit scan.
And Giblets is a Hanzo main, so don't worry, guys.
No, I'm not. I am not a Hanzo main.
So let's go around. Arijah, what are your initial thoughts on Hanzo?
My initial Hanzo, I die to Hanzo all the freaking time. That's my initial thoughts. I'm a Reinhardt main. I play other characters sometimes on Eichenwalde. I play some characters sometimes on other maps, and I'm just dying to Hanzo. He's just going right in my skull. You know, as soon as I drop the shield, bam, and it's like I'm dead and or dying. And, you know, then you know, if there's a good tracer, she'll just drop a bomb on me, and, you know, game over.
Right, exactly. And so Giblets, how do you feel? Do you think this is good for the meta? Do you think this is bad for the meta? What do you think?
I think it's great anytime you make and honestly, even what I said about Symmetra, you know, I say it in jest. Anytime they bring a character back into the meta, I think it's a good thing. That being said, I hate Hanzo. There's 3 characters in this game that I absolutely despise, and it's Hanzo, Symmetra, and Mei. And the reason I hate them so much is because I think those 3 characters are a hard counter for the things that I like to do the most. Right. So, like, if I'm playing McCree or Soldier 76, and I'm trying to take a mid-range engagement, I'm trying to, you know, hit Reinhardt's shield, crack him up a little bit. I'm maybe looking around trying to find a mercy, or maybe even on a flank route. There's friggin' Hanzo in my face, hitting me with, you know, scatter arrows and all kinds of crap, and letting everybody know where I am. And then he's shooting logs at me. It feels like he shoots friggin' logs, you know. And I'm glad that they did something to Hanzo, because now I wouldn't feel bad about playing Hanzo, because I actually enjoy playing Hanzo.
Yes.
But the thing about Hanzo is when you pick Hanzo, everybody's like, oh, no aim, no brain, Hanzo main,
Yeah,
And
exactly. It takes the joy out of it.
If you don't get 25 kills or 25 eliminations and gold damage, then they're like, oh, Hanzo is garbage, that's why we lost. It's like, no, bro, so it gives me, I don't like to face Hanzo.
Right.
And I don't play him that much, but I would like to play him more, and I'm glad they gave him a thing, so it gave me a reason to play him more. So I think that the projectile speed, yeah, that's fine. And they reduced the arrow size to offset that, so it didn't feel like he was throwing logs. But what is it? A 33% reduction in arrow size.
Mm-hmm.
It's still big. I mean, his hitbox has always been big, and so I don't feel that the hitbox for Hanzo is that much smaller. It feels about the same.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching.
For anybody that
I've been watching some, pros or whatever on YouTube here and there, and they've been saying that Hanzo is a lot more viable. So I'm gonna agree with them and say that it's helping. But on our level, of course, it's not much.
And that's I want to move on to the next topic now.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's a good point. That's a good point, Raja. That's what I want to close with, because that thought is a lot with what my thought is. Also, before I start this, shout out to Ray. Hey, Ray in the chat. What's up, man? Welcome to the welcome, Matrixy Panda.
What up, Matrix?
So, when we started talking about this podcast and talking about different topics that are happening, specifically Hanzo, I hated the Hanzo change. I hated it. But now, at the level that our level of play, like you just mentioned, I think it is actually a nice challenge. I don't think it's completely fair, but it's definitely it fixes the defense meta that really needs fixing to a certain extent. So that's just what.
If I can just add one more thing to that,
right.
You're right, because used to, and it's happened on King's Row. That's the map that pops in my head is King's Row when I talk about this. Used to, before the patch, if I'm Soldier 76 or McCree, or even Reaper for that matter, in some situations, and I see a Hanzo off in the distance, I'm not worried about that guy. I'm like, oh, I'll just run this way, and then I'll run that way. I'll zig and zag. I'll do what Rickon Stark didn't do. And
freaking idiot.
I'll just zigzag, and I'm going to be on top of this guy, and he's not going to be able to do anything. He's going to scatter arrow me, and it's no big deal. Now when I hear that zoom or I see a bolt come at my face, I'm like, holy crap, back up. Hanzo's spamming into this choke point. So it does the psychologically when you play the game now, like you said, at our level, that's a big deal. I guess at the highest level, it doesn't really matter. But psychologically, now when I see a Hanzo, I'm like, I need to respect this guy because he's going to take my face off if I don't.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. All right. So now that we talked about Hanzo for a little bit, again, I'm going to lead in on this one.
Let's go to the subject that's near and dear to Jared's heart.
Oh, jeez.
He's been cut deeply, guys. He's been cut.
This is the one, and this is okay. This is and this isn't because I'm a Lucio main. It really is because I'm a Lucio main. I wouldn't really care otherwise. But this is probably the stupidest nerf I've ever seen in my entire life. For those who don't know, Lucio has his main ability is amp it up. Depending on what he switched to, he can either amp up his healing ability or he can amp up his speed ability. They have nerfed his speed buff by 30%. So now he only gives a 70% speed boost as opposed to a 100% speed boost. Now, this sounds like, just comparing apples with other apples. Like, it doesn't seem like it's like that big of a deal, but there's just such a big feel difference that it boggles my mind why they did this. Lucio feels, and bear with me, Lucio feels like a man with no legs running through a sea of molasses right now. That's what he feels like. At least compared to what, because I was going back between PTR and pre-patch, just main, before they added the patch, and it was just like two different playstyles. Like, it goes back to the Genji thing, and I don't know if you guys have any opinions on this. It goes back to the Genji thing of where it's changing the mobility, and I think that changing mobility of characters is not the way to do it. It's about damage output and other things.
And
but
you know
what?
I think I know why they did it. I've been thinking about it while you're talking.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the battles are just zipping around way too fast on esports, so it's like, well, let's slow down the battle.
Right.
So everybody
I
can
hope
follow it.
not.
I
I
hope
hope that's
it's
not
not
why
the
they did that.
reason. I hope it's not the reason too. But you know it would make sense.
Right. I mean,
Because it seems like they're making all these adjustments because of esports' highest level play.
Well, yeah, and that's something we can talk about another day that annoys me. is that could be next stream, talking about how they buff and nerf depending on esports play, which makes sense to a certain extent, but it still boggles my mind why they are just so willing to change the type of game for everybody else just to satisfy the needs of the esports level. But yeah, so I think I know why they buffed Lucio is because it is esports. It's because in esports, if you see a Lucio, you're going to see him for one frame when he whizzes past your head. That's what you're going to see. He is like the hardest to kill support of all time, and that's why I like playing.
Agreed.
Yeah, and you guys play with me. You know how few times I die in like a regular round. Like, I'll die about 2 to 3 times per round and get about 30 kills. So it's like it's pretty disproportionate. But that's why. Anyone else have any additional thoughts on Lucio? That we don't want to waste too much time on this piece of crap topic. That makes me sad.
I'll throw my 2 cents in about why I think they
All
nerfed that. And it goes, if you look at in support who got buffs and who got nerfs. So Zenyatta got a nerf to his Discord orb. But he got a buff to his damage. He went from 40 to 46 damage on his orbs, but his Discord orb it was 50%. Now it's a 30% bonus to damage. So he's kind of a wash, you know.
Yeah.
But before the patch, Zenyatta was a must pick in competitive play.
Right.
There was always a Zenyatta.
Yeah, so, it was a huge reversal.
And there's always a Lucio because it was just if you didn't have a Lucio, the other team was going to have one, and you were going to be at a disadvantage. And nobody picked Mercy ever
Because let's break it down. Yeah.
So
yeah,
they gave Mercy a little buff. I think they changed her healing. It's 20% stronger now.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Mercy. Yeah, healing beam 20%, and her resurrect, the resurrected allies are able to move sooner. So what they're doing is they're trying to get rid of that auto lock Lucio Zenyatta combo in support and make Mercy get back in there some more. I think that's all it was.
You're exactly right.
yeah.
So there you go. And like I said earlier, anytime they make a character relevant to the meta, that's good overall for the game. So
yeah, our faces
I'm
are
down
gone
with it.
just for a second, but they'll be back in a second.
It was a brief visual intermission, but don't worry, guys.
We're still here.
We're still here. Our sultry voices are still here with you.
Yeah.
So just hold on tight, and we're going to move on to the next topic. That topic being, again, introduced by me, because everybody loves to hear my stupid voice. And also because this is another topic that I like to talk about. If you thought that my apathy towards GG Easy was intense, my lack of caring for it, it's twofold. Everybody loves to hear with May. My stupid voice. May got a buff in the new patch, and I'm just going to go over real quick. Where's it at? Specifically, here it is. Her Blizzard ultimate, so her circular ultimate that freezes people, got a buff. No other buff, just a buff to this ultimate. The projectile that she throws to cast the ultimate now pierces through barriers, and specifically Reinhardt's barrier. That's the only barrier we really care about in this scenario. And the radius of that ultimate has been raised from 8 meters to 10 meters. So that's a 2-meter increase to the radius of, so a 4-meter increase to the diameter of the ultimate, if you think about it that way. So I have some thoughts about it. I want to hear your guys' thoughts first.
I've got a link that I'm going to throw in the chat. It's to a .gif of something that May's Ultimate does now that it didn't. I don't think it used to do this, but I'll let you look at it so you guys get an idea. I hope this link works. If somebody could just let me know immediately if this link works. If not, purge it, please.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it in the description.
Yeah, you'll see that it's and what it's doing here is May's Ultimate. Okay, if you notice, you'll see Mercy. I think is that the right link? Okay,
it's correct. You're playing Mercy. Yeah.
You'll see Mercy go up on that platform, and there's no ring to indicate that May's Ultimate has reached that far.
Exactly.
And so the Mercy has no idea that she got frozen until it's too freaking late.
Right. Yeah.
That's messed up.
You need to fix that because that's BS.
Because she could have gotten a 2-man res off.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, she could have easily gotten a 2-man res off if she'd have known that she was going to get frozen. She'd have never gone up there, And it's just it didn't show up. So I think that's a bug. I don't know.
Yeah, because it'd be kind of weird to have that circle way up in the heights, the verticality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and look,
vertical, yeah.
Being able to throw that stupid ultimate through Reinhardt's shield is dumb. I just think that's stupid. I mean, increase the radius, fine. I can go with that. But
I always thought it was too small to begin with.
If you can throw that through a Reinhardt shield, I should be able to throw a Junkrat mine through a Reinhardt shield and blow him off the map.
Then Reinhardt gets never used.
Never ever used again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would just destroy. But
absolutely, it would.
But
yeah.
But
I just want to before you say what you were going to say, I just want to say hi to all the other guys who just joined chat, who joined the stream. We got a couple more guys in. Nice to see your guys' not faces, because we can't see your faces. If we could, that would be creepy. But
we still love your faces, though.
Yes.
Yeah, we still love your faces.
So what were you saying, Raja? I'm sorry I cut you off.
Okay, so I have no good opinions on the whole May ult. I like it when I'm playing May, and I think it's fair enough.
Right. Okay. I mean, yeah. I have an idea, and I've had this idea ever since I started playing back in the beta. And nobody agrees with me. I think that her thing that she emits, her emitter, should be destructible. I think it should have a high health. But I think that you should be able to destroy it.
Like with a bomb, right? Like with a pulse bomb or a diva ult or like something massive though.
Now the argument is that because my original argument is that there's like almost no other ult that can be that almost every other ult can be countered.
Yeah. Except
for May's. And the main argument to that argument is that
you can put her to sleep right before she gets it done. I think you can cancel it with the sleep from Anna.
Right, you can. Yeah, but Anna is so situational to begin with right now that
you can also, well, at least before the patch. Now I'm not sure about now. I don't think they changed it, but Diva's defense matrix would destroy it.
Oh yeah,
and you can deflect it with Genji.
That's true.
Yeah, Divas can destroy it because Divas can destroy Zarya's orb as well. Her black hole, it can absorb.
And you can deflect that with Genji as well.
Right. So the thing about the emitter is that a lot of people's argument against what I just said is that her ultimate doesn't necessarily kill you. It's not like Junkrats where if he gets to you, he's going to blow you up and kill you. So so I can appreciate that. Like, yeah, her ult is pretty passive. All it does is freeze people. Sure, it applies certain levels of damage, but it doesn't automatically kill you. So I get that. But I just think that the fact that emitter cannot be... You can't do nothing to it.
Yeah, once it's out, it's invulnerable.
I just think... And, like, I mean, Junkrats Wipe can be killed. You can kill Junkrat.
Yeah,
His tire. You can kill Reaper's ult, which does sort of the same thing as it has sort of the same, at least to me, has sort of the same purpose as May, which is in around a radius apply damage to enemies. So you can destroy Reaper, you can kill Pharah, you can do all these things. Why can't you at least just do damage at least to that emitter at all?
Okay, I'll give you that. I will give you that.
Yeah. Alrighty, so let's.
I have no authority, but I'll give you that.
Yeah, I know. All right, so we're gonna be moving on, and Mr. Giblets you're up next on the next topic. What'd you like to talk about?
I got this. I found this article, and it's really good. I think. If it's all right, we'll link that in the chat too.
Right, and going forward, any link that we share on live stream once we post it to YouTube, it'll be down in the description.
Yeah,
so
I just like saying that.
Yeah.
So, anybody that plays Overwatch, even mildly competitive, will want to take a look at this. It's got some really good info in it. And the one thing that I want to talk, well, there's two things that I want to talk about specifically from the article, and that's the high ground advantage.
Right.
Yeah,
what I see,
that's a big
what
one.
I see a lot of low-level Overwatch players doing, like, from gold down, I guess you could say, is let's take Route 66. We'll start with that, for example. If you're on defense, do not push all the way up to the payload and defend from the payload right at the start. The first point is all the way around the gas station to the door. So hold on top of the gas station, for the love of God. You've got you have got the height advantage there. They're going to have to come around the corner to you, okay? And here's the main part. If you defend right there at the payload where all the train cars are wrecked and stuff, they're going to flank you, okay? If you sit at the gas station, you can see every route that they're going to take from spawn into that area. It's right in front of your face. You won't miss them. I mean, unless a Reaper teleports right in front of your face from, the canyon all the way to the back of that section of the map, and, there's no way to get around you without somebody knowing. I mean, it's just better all around. The second map is Dorado. So, everybody knows that you don't push right up to the payload on Dorado. You're just going to get team wiped. So a lot of people back off, and they're in those areas that are elevated right there before you get to the marketplace. Now, when you come through the marketplace, the fountain area, there's a door. That's a point. Beyond that door, the church. What I see a lot of teams doing is they want to defend, after the marketplace point, they want to take the fight into the street.
Yes.
As defenders, you have the ability to run right to the top of that church from spawn in quick, fast time. You put a Reinhardt up there and a McCree or a Soldier 76, and those guys are going to have a hard time pushing around the corner because they're going to be too busy dealing with your height advantage. Don't fight on the ground level if you can get the high ground advantage. I mean, I'm trying to. I just put that out there because I want the level of play for everybody to increase, especially people that play on my team.
Mm-hmm. And
there you go.
Yeah, we're spreading the knowledge. We're dropping the knowledge onto the world.
You see, the thing about knowledge is that knowledge. I don't even know what that reference is from. Never mind.
Good game.
Yeah.
So, the second point from that article is the strength in numbers. Now, there's a lot of stuff in the article about strength in numbers, but there's one specific thing I want to touch on. If you're attacking and two of your guys die, okay, and none of their team is dead, 4 people need to back off and just wait for the other 2 guys to come back. Don't keep attacking 4v6. It doesn't make any sense. Just wait for your guys to respawn, and then you can get back in the fight. You know what I'm saying? If you look at competitive Overwatch, like on ESL, if I'm attacking and I got 6 people and I get a pick, everybody swarms the friggin' point, payload, whatever it is, because they got a one-man advantage. That one-man advantage is huge. The only thing that is going to stop a 6v5 or a 6v4 is an ultimate. Yep. So, you know, use the advantage, use the high ground. Just take a look at that article. I promise you there is good stuff in there.
That he didn't talk about. I read it, and it's good. Right. I don't have much to say other than all of it sounds pretty good.
Don't ever take a 6v5. Just don't do it.
And one thing I want to add: turn on your kill feed. It's an option. Go find it. Go look it up. How do I turn the kill feed on Overwatch? And just turn that thing on, because it is so helpful in figuring out whether or not you're going to engage the enemy or not. If you see four red people killing 4 blue people, go away.
just get out of the house. That's a right. GTFO moment.
So we got all that taken care of. I was going to talk about. Okay, so this is just a little thing. I just wanted to mention it. So there was a glitch or something. I don't know. I don't know. I watch YouTube a lot, and I watch people that play at the highest level a lot. And I was watching freaking what's his name? Some kind of bird. Seagull. Seagull. Yeah, and
Swan.
Yeah, and he said that the Torbjorn turret doesn't restore its health after Molten Core ends. That's something that used to happen, and now it doesn't happen. Like, if it was like at 150 and at Molten Core, after the Molten Core ends, it's supposed to go to full health, but it doesn't anymore. So that's a thing. If you're a Torbjorn main, that is scary.
It's an exploit. You can be exploited.
You know, I think when he's in Molten Core, 9 times out of 10, you know, he's pounding his turn anyway. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, sometimes you flip on Molten Core when there's 4 guys around your turret and you just respawn. That happens. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I've played a little bit of Torbjorn. But yeah, okay. So moving on. Okay, who had this one? Nobody has this one. Okay.
I believe Giblets wanted to talk about Soldier 76 a little bit.
I'll take Soldier 76.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they did, and let me go find my patch notes, and so I tell you exactly what. In the beginning, you had Soldier 76's burst fire. You could shoot 4 rounds, and then that's when it started to spread. First 4 rounds, dead on target every single time. And, you know, if you just bursted 4 and let off the button for just a short period of time, the recoil would reset. Well, friggin' people who are exploiters and borderline cheaters, in my opinion, were using macros to exploit that fact, and so they could just hold the left click down and it would just do a burst fire as fast as possible. And so Blizzard came in with a nerf and changed it a little bit so that the cooldown for it resetting the spread was much higher, so that and it was all just to do away with the macro thing. So, and it made it so hard to finish people with Soldier 76. Whereas before, you know, if you hit somebody with 4 bursts, you know, they were like almost dead and you could spray them down, no problem.
Right.
After that nerf, me personally, I noticed I would get people to 10 health and then I just couldn't finish them. I could not finish them. They'd switch strike away, or they'd blink off somewhere, or I'd get hooked by a roadhog, or something would happen, and I would just completely miss that kill. And what you ended up having to do was spray them down and then rocket them. And then that was the only way to guarantee the kill.
Yeah.
They've changed that now, and they've come in, and its bullet spread now happens more quickly when unloading, but, you know, it significantly increased the bullet spread recovery time.
Yeah.
And so in the developer comments, it says these changes will make burst firing feel more reliable and increase his effectiveness at longer ranges. So I don't really understand what the patch notes are saying, but I have played him since, and what it feels like is now, you know, it's closer to what it was before, It's not quite that good, but it's not as bad as it was pre-patch.
Okay, it's one thing I noticed, and I haven't really didn't notice soldiers before, but like, okay, this is just subtle, but like when I was playing the PTR and now I'm playing Americas, with the patch going live, soldiers, I have to notice them. I notice them quicker. I'm like, holy crap, that soldier's killing me from all the way over there. I'm gonna die. I've said that internally a few times, and soldier is scary again, is what I said in the itinerary. I wrote most of it, some of it, and they help. And yeah.
I mean, my 2 cents on it is that the developers realized, oh crap, Soldier is just a natural counter to Pharah, and we just shot him in the knee. So really, what they've been working back to is trying to fix Pharah, the whole Pharah problem, and they don't want to change Pharah, and I don't think Pharah needs to be changed. I think her kit is perfectly fine at the moment. It's just we didn't have McCree was not reliably getting her. Especially because of the fall off. Whereas his new fall off, the fall off is still pretty huge range, but also the way that just the play style of McCree just doesn't lend itself to taking out Pharah as good as it used to. You used to be able to fan the hammer Pharahs out of the sky. So really, all they're doing is bringing Soldier back into the meta. I still think he's not as great as he could be. I don't know why they nerfed him in the first place with his burst fire. I understand the whole macro thing, the reason behind that, but otherwise, for the mass amounts of other people, I think he was perfectly fine as he was before. But yeah.
Okay.
So that's my 2 cents on that.
So hot time.
Anything else to add on
thanks very
Soldier,
guys? No, I don't. I don't. Just thanks for the follow.
Yeah.
Big pimpies.
Big Pimpus.
Big Pimpus.
Big Pimpus.
Welcome to the podcast. My name's Little Pimpus. Over here is Fedora Pimpies, and that guy is
Old
Gibble
Pimpies.
Old Pimpus.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Cool name anyway.
Almost.
Anyway.
Welcome back to the Pimpy Podcast.
Yeah, and so getting back, feature. Okay, so this is an ongoing segment that I hope will return. Features we want, and I think I'm the only one that has one here. Maybe somebody has one on the fly.
I have some ideas, but you can start. Yeah.
Yeah. If you queue with all mics, matchmaking should favor people with mics. That is what I think. People.
And this is
This is just my opinion because I want a team with all mics. If I thought ahead to have a mic while I'm playing, I think everybody else should have a mic. It should just favor it. It shouldn't be like a queue in the system mics. It should just be I queue and I usually get people with mics. Rarely I'll get somebody without. And it's not happening like that. And that's what I want in competitive. I don't care about quick play, competitive.
right.
Just prefer players, Raja.
Just prefer players.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. This was our argument.
Find a guy with a mic. Just prefer them.
See, I'm just gonna mention this in the first podcast. This is what I really liked about the whole balance between the three of us guys here. We all managed to have 3 different opinions on everything. No one, which does not happen a lot. Usually 2 people will end up just naturally ganging up on the other person's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sort of like stuck in the middle between Giblets and Elijah. Giblets, if I'm understanding you correctly, you believe that there's already a solution, is preferring players.
Yeah,
Which there is.
I guess if you preferred hundreds of players, you would eventually have the list.
Right. My idea is that, and I also saw something similar to this, like the same sort of like school of thought. Is a lot of people want a solo queue mode, and a team queue mode separately for competitive. So a solo queue would be, if you want to, it would be next to competitive. Competitive would be split up into 2 buttons. One of them you would click if you want to play by yourself. One you could only queue up if you were in a group.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of along the same thing. People want to play with mics. People who have mics want to play with people who have mics.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes perfect sense to me. There's just no good solution. And like Giblets will understand with his CSGO history, is that no matter what you do, you're not going to find, not everybody's going to have a mic.
Mm-hmm.
CSGO is a little bit better in terms of mics. It's a lot more reliable to find people with microphones in CSGO. I think it's the only thing, and controversial statement. It's the only thing that consoles have better than us at the moment, is that that they only have mics. They have no text chat option to hide behind, and text chat to me is pointless.
You have this guy who is sitting there writing a book in Spawn. That is what ends up happening. Complaining about another player, and you're like, well, you could turn around the game, just keep playing, you know?
Right. Yeah, and really, it would be nice if I like the idea of just preferring a queue with players of just mics, but unfortunately, so many people don't use mics that that's going to make your queue time 75 minutes long, and it's going to limit the people who don't have mics and make their queue times longer. It's just going to make queue times longer, is all it's going to do.
And solo queue mode would make queue times longer in both modes.
Right. Yeah, so I think in that terms, like, I think we've done the best we can with that system that we have right now. But I like the idea of preferring mics only.
And let's not forget one of the most important lessons that we've learned from CSGO, and that's just because a dude has a mic, that's not a plus.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just if they have a mic, they're playing freaking music through it or something stupid, or they just have like the dumbest things to say on the history of the planet. You know, I mean, it's, you know, yes, and Raja will tell you this too. I mean, we found some people in the community that, you know, randoms that have mics, and all of a sudden, you know, we find they have mics, they're pretty good, they're nice people. Guess what? We send them a friend request, you know, and we queue with them. So, I mean,
yeah, that's why we only play with each other in the beginning, but that's why we all have like friends lists that are like 70 people long, because we just shoot them a friend request, and if we need someone to fill out our queue, we got a list of people. We got a rap sheet.
So I guess the answer to that is really, I think the answer to that is really just make friends. Forever.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. I feel like if you begin to separate mic users from non-mic users, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to have a whole lot of non-mic users that queue together, and everybody's going to be toxic because nobody has a mic.
And nobody's communicating.
They're going to end up not playing the game because it's toxic, and then you shrink the player base. Whereas if you mix in the people that don't have mics with the people that do have mics, the people that don't have the mic will realize, hey, this game would be so much better if I went to GameStop or wherever, not a sponsor, and spent $25 on a headset with a mic. This game would be so much better. And I think the community will benefit from that influence.
Right.
And I also think that matchmaking should favor people named Mike.
Yes, exactly. I want to play with all these mics.
If your name is Mike, you should be auto top 500.
Just give him the medal. He earned it.
You should be auto grandmaster.
All right, so we're
1,000 competitive points for booting the game.
So we're nearing the end of the stream, guys. This is our last topic. We were all going to go around and talk about just some things we'd like to add. I have one thing that I would love to be added to each map. Callouts. And this goes back to when I played CSGO. I don't find a lot of people that agree with me. I haven't talked to you guys about this before. I would love to have callouts on Overwatch. Like, oh, he's going through barn door or some crap. Like, because there's been time after time where a Reaper is hyper flanking, like freaking ninja level flank, kills me, and I don't know where to tell you guys where he is. And then he ults.
All right.
Like it. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that. But
I don't know. What do you think, Giblets?
You just caught me like the sleeping kid in math class. I was too busy jerking around.
What are your thoughts on callouts? Like
callouts? Yeah. If you have.
Oh, look. Let me tell you something about callouts. Okay, and I know UMad is in the stream, and I hope he's listening. Okay, let's go back to CSGO for a minute. I hate to keep comparing the games because they're so different, but when it comes to communication and teamwork factor,
Yeah.
there's
They
some
are very
similarities
similar
there.
in terms of the multiplayer aspect.
The world's worst thing in a team-based first-person shooter is now, trust me, it's better to try than not to do anything at all. But at least, try to make your call-outs something relevant. Don't say, he's on top of the thing by the door, or he's just, you got to try to make your call-outs relevant. That was the one thing in CSGO that a lot of people did badly. And they would do a call out and they would say, he's to the right.
Yeah.
Well, he's to the right of what? I'm on the other side of the freaking map. What are you talking about?
Right.
And what happens a lot of time with inexperienced players is they want to do a call out bad because, they know it helps. And what they end up doing is they, instead of stopping and thinking for a second, and saying, okay, that's where he was. He was on top of the church, just to the right, or he was to the left of the fountain, and he was moving around the backside or something like that. They just blurt out the first thing that comes in their head, and you're like, and he's to the left, and he's going around.
I was playing.
Just say something that doesn't make any sense.
I was playing some late night competitive
Exactly.
with Giblets. Yeah. I was playing some late night competitive with Giblets the other night, and I caught myself doing it. I was saying, he's on top of that building over by the objective, the one on the right.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what it's called.
Like MC Glenn says, he's on that box. That box.
Yeah.
Which
one.
box? Which box?
Yeah. You know the one. Yeah, that's why I think call-outs, because even if low-level players are going to use it, at least it's something for me. If Blizzard could just give me official call-outs like Overpass, Barn Door, Chicken Nugget, OJ Simpson did it, stuff like that. I would just love to have some sort of call out just for you guys, and like we could go over it. We can make our own call outs if we really wanted to. But the point is that that's what I really liked about CSGO was that I had all the call outs memorized, and it just. If you want to be good at the game, then you had to learn it. Obviously, if you're going to be bad at the game, you're going to be bad at the game. And this is intrinsically linked with every game ever. Yep. But I just think it would be a good addition.
And calling into that, talking about callouts, there was a lot of callouts at the Overwatch Open.
Yes.
I was watching it. I was watching some of it the other day. I seen who won. I'm not going to say who won, actually, because maybe actually, it's been a while. So
it's fine.
Yeah, NRG won. That's the team that Seagull's on. And in the Americas, and in Europe, OW Kings won. So,
right.
But I was watching just some of the play, and okay, there was this.
Hey,
thanks for the follow. Anyway, so this team called the Nips. I think it's called the Nips. It might be Nip.
Hey.
It's Nips, right? Isn't it?
I have not seen what Elijah's talking about, but I think he means ninjas in pajamas.
Ninjas in pajamas.
We're 85% sure, and we're 100% sure that we're too lazy to find out what he's actually talking about.
But I seen a bit of it, and there was what I want to talk about. This is why I brought it up. There was a 3-tank, 3-support combo, and it worked. It freaking worked. And I was just amazed because it was friggin' Roadhog, Diva Reinhardt, and Anna Zenyatta, and Lucio, and it worked so well. And I was like, wow. And you know how it worked, because usually what you want in Overwatch is 2 tanks, 2 supports, 2 attackers, just a general rule. Sometimes you might flex the tank and the support. But yeah.
It proves that the 2 tank, 2 DPS, 2 support meta isn't always required. Yeah.
But you have to be darn good at your role if you're going to be doing anything.
Exactly. And
if you have a UMAD bro Roadhog, you can probably pull that off.
Exactly. Yeah. Shoutouts.
Yeah, UMAD bro plays today. He was telling me. And
he was making me feel bad.
Yeah, he's like 100 more than I placed in PTR. We haven't placed yet, all three of us yet, but we're going to this season. All right, so in conclusion, we didn't mention Sombra, but the game's almost over. If you haven't heard about that, just look up Sombra. Yeah,
Sombra we can talk about next time.
Yeah, we can talk about it next time.
Sure.
And
when they actually release something concrete from Blizzard and it's not just all speculation on the Reddit.
Yeah, it's not just like some Homer Simpson meme they found in the Overwatch code, and they're like, "What does it mean? What does it mean? Is God real?" Like that's that's his entire God confirmed for Overwatch.
Yeah. Just go to the Overwatch Reddit, and you will see so much Sombra. I don't even know Sombra ARG. I don't even know what it's all about.
Alternate reality game, and
more people play that game than people play Overwatch. At least I feel like.
Yeah, I think so. And it's just like a lot of code breaking and stuff. You can check it out, but we're not going to talk about that this time. But in conclusion, I'd like to wrap up the cast. Thank you very much for. Whoa! I just lost my window. Here it is.
Oh, geez.
There we go. Okay. I'd like
right at the finish line, our ankle breaks.
Yeah, I'd like to wrap up the cast. Thank you so much for coming out. This has been Giblets, Jared, Elijah, and it's been fun. Tune in next time, same channel, next week. Yep. And are we going to mention the GoFundMe?
Yeah, let me do that right quick. Look, it's been posted in the chat a couple of times. Our good friend and member of the guild, NC Wildfire, whom I know personally, have known for years, his friend is having some issues, and if you go to the GoFundMe, you can see exactly what's going on with him. The main issue is his insurance deductible, for all of you old people out there, is just ridiculously high. It's erroneously high, and he can't even get a simple procedure that he needs to find out what the problem is, because his deductible is so high he doesn't have the money to meet the deductible. So anything that you guys can do to help out this guy is really appreciated, not only by myself, but also by NC Wildfire. And I'm going to link it in the chat one more time. The link is right there. So, anything you can do is super appreciated. And we kind of, did this for his, I won't say for his benefit, but we felt like, hey, we're doing this. We're not asking
for money. That's the important thing. We're not asking for money. We're not like, give me shirt money.
Yeah, it's all about this guy's medical expense for this procedure.
This problem that he's going through. So if you'd like, just check that out. Right. And I'm gonna close it out with the intro. Thank you very much for joining episode 1. You have been part of an amazing start. And tune in next Saturday at 7:30, where we're gonna be doing it again.
And we will have a special guest, Jesus. He's back.
No, we're not gonna have. No.
And he's got some stuff to talk about.
He's gonna have some stuff to talk about. All right.
But in all seriousness, here is the thing we made for the cast, the sound clip. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.
Love your faces.
High time.
A podcast raised from above. Providing tactical advice on Overwatch.
And commenting on games we play online.
Try not to stare directly into the webcam.
I'm going to eat some real cold steel.
Sometimes you can be random like that.
How dare you look mimicking old?
Hopefully,
I've been waiting all this time to say
it.
hammer down!
Darn it!
Oh, darn it! I was supposed to do something else.
I lost the
That's
start.
right, big guy.
There he goes. There it is.
Jared, respect your elders.
Jared, if you leave, you are going on my bad list.
It's high noon.
Hold on now, Mr. Giblets.
He's like,
Let's
layered.
think
Oh,
about
I'm not finished.
No, wait a minute, Mr. Giblets.
I'm not
wait,
done.
Wait!
Okay, I got. They're these guys. I expected.
Baby, bye.
You are too. Son of a left, I think.
You can check us out on YouTube and subscribe!
Let the like button consume you. Bye.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
I can subscribe.